Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Belief Cast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires Belief Cast. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and for believing in me and the messages that I share. I pinch myself every day for the amazing people that come on my show, and today's going to be no different. You guys are in for a treat. Before we get to our guest, I need to give a shout out to our sponsors, Craig Swap and Associates, Elevate Wellness and Aesthetics, Maury Nutrition, Wasatch Recovery, Thread Wallets. And then the music you hear at the beginning and at the end of this podcast is by my good friend Paul Cardall. He's an award-winning pianist. He's got like 25 million active listeners every month. He's amazing. And so thank you, Paul, for letting us use your music. So today we're joined by Addy Herman, the current women's champion of American Ninja Warrior. Thank you so much, Addy, for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on the podcast.
Oh, wow. And you just fresh off this win. I mean, congratulations, man. How does this feel?
Thank you. It feels amazing. It's truly just one of the most important things that I've accomplished in my own journey. It took so much to get to where I am now, and winning the championship was kind of just that mountaintop moment for me. So it feels truly amazing.
Yeah, well, congratulations. You truly are an inspiration. And, you know, I was telling you before we went live, you know, I've been, doing a lot of research on you and watching your YouTube videos and your shorts and the things I see on Instagram and things like that. And I'm so impressed, not only that you're so young, but more just how you carry yourself. Have you always been kind of like this go-getter, confident girl?
Thank you. First off, I do think I've been very confident in the things that I set my mind to from a very young age. And I do think a lot of that is because of my parents. They were always about committing to things, having no fear when doing things when I was younger. And it definitely carried into where I am now. So a lot of that I owe to them, but it's helped me a lot in life.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about when you were a little younger. I know you're still pretty young, but talk about when you were like in elementary and junior high. How did you, were you a confident girl back then? Did you struggle at all with, maybe confidence?
I definitely struggled with confidence at multiple points, not just when I was younger, as well as just perfectionism and kind of beating myself up over failure. So it's been a long journey to overcome that. I do remember when I was younger, my parents had me in every sport you could imagine. I tried everything from baseball, gymnastics, swimming, rock climbing. Like, it was so much, and nothing ever fit. Nothing felt right. I didn't have a passion for anything.
Yeah.
And they were always confused by it because I was always competitive. Like, from as long as I can remember, I have two younger brothers, and we were always competing over the silliest things too. But with sports, I wasn't naturally talented at any team sports. And so after gymnastics, I ended up having a bad injury. I broke my foot. It was a stress fracture, so I was out for 6 months in a boot. And during that time, I remember telling my mom, I don't really miss this. Like, I don't really want to go back to gymnastics. It never was something I truly loved. And so she actually found a local Ninja Warrior gym, like 20 minutes from my house when the sport was just starting to grow, and sent me for just a class there. And I immediately fell in love with it. It was just a way for me to not only be competitive, but to be creative with the obstacles, to work out in a way that I truly enjoyed. I met amazing people. I'm a part of an amazing community now. And so Ninja really helped me along that journey of gaining confidence, getting over fear of failure, things like that. So I truly wouldn't be who I am today without, one, my parents, and two, Ninja Warrior.
Well, and you really truly have done some amazing things. You're 18 years old. You're a professional athlete. You're an entrepreneur. You compete in professionally worldwide in competitions as a sponsored athlete. You hold 2 world titles, probably 3 now, right? Is it 3?
Yep, 3 now.
Current one. Again,
yes.
Congratulations on that. You're also you're really into helping other people and making a difference in people's lives. you did something back in February where you went to Africa and you built an obstacle course for children at an orphanage. Talk about that. I mean, that sounds pretty amazing. Why did you go do that, and why does that mean so much to you?
Yeah, it was a life-changing trip. It started actually a long time ago. I remember telling my parents that I wanted to bring ninja to people who don't have it. And this was going to be my first mission trip. And somehow it worked out just talking to the people that I was able to do this on my first ever mission trip to build a ninja course for them. So
Yeah.
I was so excited about it. It was amazing. Like, I can't even put it into words. Seeing those kids at the orphanage, just the joy that they have, and
Hmm.
watching something that's brought me so much joy in my own life bring them so much joy, ninja, was unbelievable. I really don't have the words for it.
Yeah.
I decided to do that. It was after winning the women's championship. And it was kind of at that moment I realized that there was still more. It wasn't going to end there for me. I didn't want to look back and the best thing I ever did in my life to be winning the
Right.
women's championship, but I wanted to leverage that and use that in a way that truly
Yeah.
inspired and helped other people. So that's kind of where the inspiration to do that came from. Then it all came together in February, and it was just awesome.
Yeah. What a, you hear of people going over there, maybe building a school or, digging a well for water, but to build a course, a ninja course, I mean, that's pretty unique. I don't know if anyone's ever done that before. Do you know if this is the first time anyone's done that, or?
I haven't heard of it before. I'm not positive, but could
Yeah.
be wrong.
I
Yeah.
would guess that you're probably the first one to do that. And again, I love that it's not just about winning the championships for you. It sounds like it's also more about, hey, how can I give back and make a difference in people's lives? That's part of what really inspired me the most, is watching you do some of those things.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely struggled with that for a while, I will say. I made ninja a few years ago it was my identity, I would say. My
Mm,
main identity
okay.
in my life was being an athlete. So
Mm,
when I went to these competitions and failed, I was a failure in my mind because that was everything to me. And it was actually
okay.
around last year at a ninja competition, not in the show, but in the sport. I had trained harder than ever for it. I mean, put in hours upon hours of work for it, and it did not go well. I made like 3 silly mistakes, and
Mm,
I was so upset about it. I remember my mental game being completely off. I didn't even know how to recover. I didn't know if I wanted to keep doing it because everything was about winning. And right before my last race in that competition, I remember it like hitting me and being like, why do you do this in the first place? Like, you do this because you love this. Like, you have a
yeah.
passion for this. This is something you love, something that you truly enjoy. Why is it all about winning? Like, it didn't used to be like this. And I actually wrote a prayer in my journal right before that. And I basically just
Wow.
said, God, help my identity to just be in you and not in this course,
Whoa.
win or lose. Help me to support my teammates, help me to be a light to other people, help me to bring joy to other people. And I ended up actually winning that race. But more than that, I remember I hit the buzzer, and it was more just that my identity was completely shifted. Like, I was like, this
Wow.
is the mindset I need. This is the mindset I need to take with me into every competition. And even if I lost that race, I truly believe that I would have been fine because of where my head was at then. And so that's kind of what I've been trying to go into every competition, not just competition, but honestly just life, with the idea that
Yeah.
your identity has to be in something that can't be taken away from you. It has to be in the permanent things instead of temporary.
Wow, that's power. You gave me chills right there. That is powerful, because again, I understand how important identity is. Where I can relate with you, Addy, is that mine was basketball. If you were to ask me when I was younger, who am I? I was a basketball player, and I actually had a scholarship in my hands, full ride, but I lost it because I was getting high and drinking, and I
Mm.
blew it. And when that went away, I thought I'm nothing without it. So I had thoughts of ending my life. And luckily, I had this miracle happen that turned the course of my life. And so I cannot tell you enough what you're doing there and how important identity is. How would you describe yourself now? Like, if someone was to say, well, who are you now? Who are you, Addy? How would you answer it?
First and foremost, my Christianity is really important to me. So I would answer, I'm a child of God, and I want
Mm,
to help other people in this world. I do. I want to inspire other people. I want my life to go beyond myself. I want to
Mm.
leave impacts that go beyond just my accomplishments and what I can achieve, but that truly influence other people, especially the younger generation of people. Even though I am young, it's been amazing to see a whole other generation of even ninjas coming up and seeing them struggle with things I struggled with in the sport at
Hmm.
first. And then being able to look to the older ninjas who I now get to compete against and
Yeah.
getting advice from them. So it's an amazing community. So overall, I guess I'd say right now I want to put my identity or focus my identity on who I want to be instead of the things that I want to do.
Wow. Beautifully said. Thank you. You mentioned when you were younger, you struggled with, just the thoughts of being perfect at things, perfectionism. I know one of your main messages now is persistence over perfection. Talk about how you made that shift, because I think a lot of people listening to this right now, Addy, they do struggle with, I've got to reach this peak, and if I don't quite hit there, then who am I, or I'm not enough. Or how did you make that transition, and how did that shift for you?
Yeah, it was a struggle I had for as long as I can remember, just struggling with perfectionism. I also have ADHD, which kind of played a part into it.
Mm.
Not I never was super hyper, didn't listen. I always listened and was obedient, but it was more just in my mind. I overthought
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
thing. And I was always trying to be the best at everything, which in
Hmm.
and of itself definitely helped me athletically, but I made that an idol. I made that way too important.
Mm. Okay.
So persistence over perfection kind of came from the point of you become a stronger person. You become stronger when you learn how to get up when you fail instead of letting failure kind of overcome you. Um,
Wow.
it was at a point actually, I got second place in like 10 competitions in a row, I think, and I was mentally just over it. I was like, what is
Yeah.
happening? I've
Right.
tried
Yeah.
everything. I've done everything I can, and it wasn't happening. And I just remember my coach, I went into practice and he was like, "You need to fail on this course run." And I was like, "What? Like, what do
You're
you
like,
mean
what?
fail? I'm
Yeah.
trying to clear." And he was like, "If you're not failing on this speed course right now, that means you're not trying to throw moves that you know you can do.
Oh.
So I want you to fail. I want you to throw every move that you know you can do. Even if you don't get it, I don't care. Try."
Mm.
And that mindset shift in training led to this whole persistence over perfection, because then I'd throw the moves, he saw what I did wrong, and he'd fix it. And that was how I grew. I didn't grow from clearing every obstacle. I didn't grow from not doing something because I knew I couldn't do it. But I pushed myself beyond my comfort zone, beyond what I thought I was supposed to do, and being perfect and doing everything right. And that translated so
Mm.
much into my life. Everything kind of changed from there into entrepreneurship to now speaking. I took the last year to travel the world even, and everyone
Amazing.
expected me to go to college. I've been a struggle with people pleasing along with the perfectionism. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
was
Yeah.
about to go. I was enrolled. I
Mm.
was like ready to go. And for a while I've known it just wasn't for me. And so it
Yeah.
even translated into that, just persisting through things, and who you become due to your persistence will make you a greater person than if you were perfect in the first place.
Man, you're talking like with the wisdom of like a 50-year-old, honestly. Like, it's amazing that you see that perspective. And it sounds like, again, you mentioned your parents have been such a great influence, but it also sounds like, like this coach that was saying, "Hey, I want you to fail on this course." And obviously, because he saw the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
How has your coach and maybe even your parents kind of helped you, guide you to be able to have, this perspective on life?
Yeah, my coach has been a huge part in that. I switched over to him. So I started with a different coaches who were also amazing. And then
Yeah.
during the whole COVID thing, things got changed around just with like gyms we could train at and stuff. So that's how I ended up with the coach that I still have now and the training team that I do. And both my team and my coach have been a huge factor. Like, I wouldn't have accomplished what I've accomplished without them.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing community, and a lot of people, different ninja gyms, look at our gym and see something different because
Mm.
he pushes me harder than anyone I've ever met, and knows how to push me harder and knows how to get me to commit to things, to get over my fears in a way that's just so helpful for all of his athletes. And that's why,
Yeah.
even so, my training partner and my boyfriend Noah has the same coach, and his first season on the show, season 15, which you can watch from last year, he made it to stage 3, which is like crazy. Like,
Yeah.
not
Right.
many people have ever done that. And so there is something different about the coaching, and I'd say a lot of that has to do with overcoming fear. I think when I started ninja, I was very afraid of obstacles. To the
Yeah.
point where I didn't want to do them because I didn't want to embarrass myself. Like I didn't want to get up in front of everyone, do it
Yeah.
and fail, or because I genuinely thought that I couldn't do it and could get hurt. And he just worked us up to overcoming fear
Yeah.
in such a great way. I remember him telling me, like, the fear is always going to be there. You're not going to get rid of the fear. You need how to
Yeah.
learn to do it afraid. And so learning how to do things afraid, learning how to push myself to commit to things, that's made the
Yeah.
biggest difference in my training.
Wow. I love that. You know, I love that you said that fear is going to be there. Okay. Cause I think it's a normal human experience. And you think about it, people would say you're very brave. I watched you climb this, it looked like a roller coaster
Oh my
track,
gosh.
and
Yes,
you
I
got
know
to the
what you're
top and
talking
you
about.
were doing some pull-ups, and I was like, dang, that thing was so high up in the air. But see, people would say you're brave, but here's what's cool about that is in order for you to be brave, you have to have fear, right?
Mhm.
Because you wouldn't need to be brave if you weren't scared, right?
100%. Yeah.
So do you find yourself like you're getting ready to do this, you're getting ready to do the championship, right? That you just won, by the way, 2024. Congrats again.
Thank
Um,
you.
are you feeling, I mean, do you have the butterflies? Are you doubting yourself at all? What's going through your mind? Because you talk about the importance of mindset. Talk about that for a
Yes.
minute.
Yeah, so before my runs, I do get nervous 100% every time. I have a nervousness to me. I guess I've just learned how to use it.
Uh-huh.
I used to let that stop me fully. I wouldn't compete to the way that I trained. I'd compete way below my ability level because I was scared. And
Mm,
now I look at it in a way that if I wasn't nervous, it showed that I didn't care. So when I'm nervous, I'm like, good, I care. This is my body telling me that I care about what I'm about to do, but trusting my training. What you train for is gonna come into fruition in competition. So
yeah.
if you're training for things, like you said about that example, like I wouldn't have done that if I had never climbed anything in my life before. But
Yeah.
because I'm so comfortable on it, because I'm comfortable with what I was doing, it wasn't dangerous for me to do. It didn't feel dangerous. Like, yes, sure, it was scary, but it felt like fully in my control. And I
Yeah.
think the same thing is true for competitions. Like, some things aren't going to be in your control in competitions, which is hard, but you have to learn how to have confidence in yourself in the moment, even
Yeah.
when things are scary.
Wow. Beautifully said again, man. Again, I love what you're saying and the way you carry yourself. It's pretty impressive. Talk about your training, because obviously doing the events are hard, right? But I would imagine your training's probably even more difficult. How do you approach your training, and how has that maybe cultivated a discipline in you that helps you in every area of your life?
Yeah, more than anything else, training for ninja has really shaped me into who I am, like 100%.
Yeah.
I also have always loved training. It's never felt like a chore or a burden for me to go. I've never been like I never want to go to training or I hate this. It's always been fun, but that doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
not hard. Like sometimes it's horrible. My coach will have us running sprints until we're like throwing up. So sometimes it's crazy hard, but I guess having a goal and persisting to that goal has taught me so much about life in general.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen in life. You have to have these goals. You have to set these standards for yourself and persist through hardship to them. And I think training, going through hard things, everything mentally and physically that I've overcome in training is the reason why I've achieved what I have in competitions. And
Yeah.
so, same thing for life. Like, you have to be, I guess, nourishing yourself mentally as well
Mm,
as physically. Like, you
yeah.
have to be putting things into your life that help you. You have to be bringing people into your life that grow you, that can come around you and support you, not tear you down. You have to be very, very careful the way that you live, because even the people
Mm,
around you, the things that you're doing, the things you're watching, the things you're listening to, they all
yeah.
affect you. And so I think similarly to how I train is how I compete. The way that you live your life, you want to be living like you're the person. If you're trying to be a certain person, you have to live like that person you're trying to be. You can't try
Yeah.
to live a different lifestyle and expect a person to come out of it. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. You mentioned, your identity and how you wanted to identify more in line with your faith. Talk about that for a minute. Why is your faith so important to you, and how has that not only helped you with, American Ninja Warrior and all that, but how's it helped you just in everyday life?
Yeah, so I grew up in a Christian home. So my parents are Christian. I've just grown up in church, in that community,
Hmm.
and it was always amazing. Like, I've always loved God, I've always loved my faith, but I think in high school, definitely hard things started happening. And I started kind of questioning a lot. I started questioning, why would God let this happen? Like, if God is good, why is this happening? Or if I'm doing all of these things right, like, am I doing something wrong? Is something messed up? And I
Yeah.
remember it kind of leading me just into more exploration of it. And in that exploring my faith more, it just grew deeper. And I just really learned to depend on God for all I need,
Mm.
because at some points in my life, it truly felt like all that I had was God. A lot had, I guess I just felt abandoned in other areas, and God was still there. And so with competitions, I don't know where I mean, I wouldn't be competing without that. The
Yeah.
peace that he gives me, and just the peace in my faith that I have. And like I said, the identity, like, that's something that I don't think can be ever, like, it can't be taken away from me. And so
Yeah.
having my identity in something so permanent, something that can't be taken away, like a sport or a job, even people, something like my faith, has made the biggest difference, just to rest in that.
Yeah. Love it. How do you connect with God?
So I would say the biggest thing that I focus on, I always say this, I say for me, it's a relationship over a religion. I
Mm.
always just focus on the relationship part. It's not, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like, it's not ritualistic. It's, I talk to God throughout my day. I thank him for the simple things. I ask him for help on the simple things and the big things, like praising him when I win, praising him when I lose, giving the glory to God. It's truly like a relationship, like a father-daughter relationship.
Dang, who are you, girl? This is amazing. I'm blown away. Like,
um,
your wisdom is amazing. Seriously, I love it. You know, um, so what does a day look like for you? Like, obviously you do a lot of training, getting ready for competitions and things like that, but what does an average day look like for you? And what are you doing? Do you have like a morning routine? Do you do certain things throughout the day? What does that look like for you?
I do. I have certain parts of my day. So I was actually just talking to my mom about this. I was wondering, am I a routine person? Am I more of a sporadic person? And I came
Hmm.
to the conclusion that I have small routines that I stick to, because
Okay.
they're habits that have made such a big difference in my life, but I also love adventure. So it's kind of a mix. So typical
Right.
day, I always try to start my day with a quiet time. So just reading my Bible, praying, and then journaling. Journaling has helped me so much in competitions too. Just journaling what went wrong, what went right, just to reflect
Yeah.
on later. So
Okay.
that's always first. I always put that first. Then usually, so I actually started my own ninja class for homeschool kids at my house. So that's been going on in the mornings.
Whoa.
So
That's
that's been a
great.
ton of fun, because it's kids who have never done ninja before. So I'm working
Yeah.
with beginners, but we have a 50 by 50-foot rig in our backyard that me and my dad built together. And we've been doing that. So that's kind of my daytime job. And then right now I'm actually starting to look into speaking more. So I have an
Yeah.
event coming up, and I'm kind of just working on different outlines and stuff for that. And then in terms of training, I train 5 times a week at the regular, sorry, not at the regular, at a ninja gym, and then
Okay.
3 to 4 times a week at a regular gym. So
Gotcha.
I'll do my regular training in the morning, my ninja training at night. But this year, I will say, has looked very, very different. So after graduating high school, I decided to take a gap year, as I said, to
Yeah.
travel the world. So
Yeah.
in September, I packed up my stuff and didn't come home till December. So I was gone for 3 months traveling, road tripping. I went
Mm.
down to Florida, back up through Nashville, and back to my house, stopping at a bunch of different places along the way. And
Nice.
during that time, I just did a bunch of internships. I'm the type of person who learns best being hands on, being kind of
Yeah.
surrounded by the learning environment I want to be in. So I
Yeah.
learned so much through experience. And more than even the internships, just having the independence of traveling, of doing things on my own for the first time, taught me so much. So I don't have any regrets for that. I'm so glad that I decided to do that. Really do
Yeah.
think I learned so much. I did over 15 internships with different people, different entrepreneurs, and it was amazing. I got to explore the country while doing it. It was awesome. So then in December, I got back and I started flying places. So that's when I flew to Utah. That's when I went to Africa. I went to Minnesota. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. So every other week or so, I'm flying to a new place. So my at home time is kind of just getting stuff done. And then I'm still traveling around.
Wow, I love that. So again, you're a go-getter. You do a lot. You're very passionate about what you do. Do you ever do you like alone time? Do you like downtime? Do you ever try to find yourself just trying to, embrace the present moment and just being quiet for a while? Do you do things like that?
Yes, 100%. I learned very quickly that I need alone time. I was staying with people the whole time I was traveling, different people I
Hmm.
had met, and it was amazing. I'm very much a people person, but I need to be able to kind of recharge myself. I'd still consider myself extroverted, but I do think there's a point where we all kind of need that time to
Yeah.
just recharge, focus on yourself, focus on your goals, what you're doing. So, very much so. I would say, yes, I needed that alone time.
Yeah. I know I've kind of got the same mentality. I'm constantly doing things and I've got to stop myself and go, okay, just
Yeah.
relax for a minute,
Yep. 100%.
right? So, you just, again, you just won the championship and, we're moving forward. You're moving forward now at this point, but what are do you have plans? What's the next big thing you want to do? Obviously, you mentioned you want to do more speaking, which is, I think you'll be fantastic. You're obviously a very good speaker. You carry
Thank
yourself
you.
really well. Matter of fact, if you're ever in Utah, let me know and I'll have you come speak to my clients here at Wasatch Recovery. They're people who are struggling with mental health issues and drug addiction.
Okay.
They would thrive off your story. So please let me know.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
100%.
so besides speaking, I guess, what are your plans, looking ahead?
So this is actually it's perfect because this is one of the things that I like to talk about a lot. Is kind of after you reach that big goal, like what's next? And I think a lot of people do struggle with that. Like you've done
Hmm.
it, you've reached your goal, you've done what you wanted to do. Like now what? And it can leave people feeling really empty. I remember my first women's special that I did, the women's championship prior to the one that I just won. I got my first buzzer ever, and for so long that had been the big thing. I just
Yeah.
wanted to hit a buzzer. Like that was it. And I hit the buzzer and I was so happy, like overjoyed. And I got down and I remember just kind of feeling empty, kind of feeling like that was really it. Like that's
Yeah.
what I've been wanting for so long and it was amazing, but I was
Yeah.
like is there more? Like what do I do? And so preparing myself for this women's championship was very very different. I wanted to yes, make it to the top, make it to that summit, but also know how to descend, I guess. And so like descending the mountain is just as important as climbing it in my opinion.
Mm,
So
yeah.
this time I've really tried to do as much as I can to kind of leverage the summit in terms of helping other people. So that's why I went to Africa. That's why I
Okay.
decided to travel to share my story. That's why I'm pursuing speaking now. And so coming up, I'm trying to start my own training programs. Like I said, starting this class for kids. I'm doing
Yeah.
private lessons too. So working one on one with kids, which I love doing just because it helps me connect better with them one on one. Truly getting to know their personality, know how they do obstacles. That's how I learned. So it's the way that I teach the best. And then just traveling more. I have a
Mm.
passion for traveling. I've always loved adventure. My parents instilled that in me in a very young age. So I'm just so excited now for what the future has. Like this time, it didn't feel
Yeah.
empty. It felt like the step that I needed to get everywhere else almost. Like just the start
Yeah.
of the journey, not the end. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited for what's to come.
Yeah. It sounds like you got a lot of great things coming up and great ideas, and I'm sure you'll work hard at those, and and you're going to accomplish those things. Isaac Newton penned in a letter in 1675. He said, "If I'm able to see a little further, it's because I'm standing on shoulders of giants." And I know I'm where I'm at because of giants in my life. Who are the giants in your life? Whose shoulders are you standing on? That maybe the heroes in your life. Who are they?
Yeah, in terms of American Ninja Warrior, I would say definitely one of them is Jessie Graff. She has been, I
Mm.
remember watching the show when I was 8 years old and being like, Mom, I want to be like her. Like, she's the coolest person ever. And so now getting to compete against her is truly an honor for me. Like,
Wow,
It's
right?
it's unbelievable and I don't even think a lot of the veterans know how much we as, like, the teens coming up look up to them as ninjas, like, they're the ones
Yeah,
who paved the path for us to be able to do what we do now, and it's just amazing to be Jesse Graff's friend now, which is, like,
right. Yeah.
even crazy for me to say. So in terms of ninja, yeah, 100%, she's my favorite superhero, will always
Yeah.
be.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah, and then in my life, I would say someone who I've always really looked up to is my aunt. She's just taught me so much. She's helped me in times where I was really down. She's helped me through a lot in life, and she just always gives me the most amazing advice and the most amazing wisdom. And so having her in my life, she always inspires me to just be a better person. And those types of people are always great. So I would say my aunt for sure.
Yeah, wow. Shout out to them, and I did see a video with you and Jesse going head to head, and that was really cool. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you looked up to her in that way, but I see why you do. She's amazing as well. And um, but yeah, isn't it cool to have people in our lives that have our back and can show us the way? Um, because without that, and what's cool is you're kind of doing the same thing now. Like you said, you're giving back, and you're going to be that giant, so to speak, to these younger kids, this younger generation coming up. And it's amazing how big, American Ninja Warrior is now, like how it's
Yeah.
grown and how, I mean, there's places popping up all over the place to be able to
Mhm.
train for those kind of things. And how cool is that as you're a part of this movement and the growth of that? How does that feel?
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's really cool because 7 years ago when I started was the first ever outside of the show, the first ever Kids World Championship. It was a national championship at that time. It was much smaller than it is now, but I got to go to that, and now I'm competing in a month or 2 in one that's a world competition, the same one, but it's grown so much with, like, over 1,000 kids competing, like, it's been amazing to just be a part of the growth of this sport. And I will say it has a community unlike any other sport I've ever been a part of. Even when you're racing someone, you're cheering
Yeah,
them on, like you're supporting
yeah,
them. I think it just has this everyone wants each other to do their best because that's what pushes everybody. Like if
yeah,
we're all making silly mistakes and you're like, "Oh, I beat that person cuz they missed a
right,
step." It's not fulfilling. So everyone's
right.
constantly pushing each other so that everybody can kind of grow this sport together as a community, and it's amazing to be a part of. It's awesome.
Wow. Do you ever pinch yourself and go, man, I'm on national television and everyone in the world's taking a look at me right now? Does that ever like just blow your mind?
Yeah. It's crazy, and I'm so blessed to be able to even say that, and that's why I just wanna use this platform to the
Yeah.
best of my ability, because if I'm blessed this much to have it, I wanna use it the best that I can. But it's funny, even kids will come up to me, and they'll be scared to talk to me, and I always wanna be like, "I'm a normal person just like you. Like, I
Yeah.
promise I am. You can do the same exact things in your own life." Everyone always just looks at these people who kind of have this platform and they're like, I could never. But if I would have said I could never at 8 years old, I wouldn't have it. So I do think
Yeah.
just not putting limits on yourself is one
Yeah.
of the biggest things. And it's a mistake I definitely made at first, but after I
Yeah.
learned to take that down and to just try to see how much I could accomplish and what I could do with the goals that I had, that's when they actually happened.
Wow, that's impressive. If there's someone listening to your voice right now, Addy, who is in a dark place, they're struggling, they just feel lost and they're not sure what to do. What would you tell that one person right now who's listening to you?
One, I would say you're not alone. Like, I've been there. I've been in places where I didn't even wanna do what I loved the most. Like, I didn't wanna do anything. I had no energy. Everything felt like it was kind of failing. Like, it was just it's
Yeah.
depressing. And I would say to persist, honestly. That's why I
Mm,
say persistence over perfection.
yeah.
Even if you can't persist on your own strength, have hope, rely on other people,
Hmm.
surround yourselves with people to lift you up, to help you, because you're not gonna be able to do it alone. So I would say surround yourself with that community, persist through your failure, and just have hope for the future. If you focus on the person that you want to be, it doesn't matter what you accomplish because if you put your energy into who you want to be, the rest will follow. What you
Yeah.
accomplish will follow. Everything else you don't have to worry about. Just focus on having hope, persisting, and your identity.
Yeah. Wow. Well said, Addy. Well said, man. That is so powerful. I have no doubt, honestly, especially after interviewing you and talking to you, that you are going to do great things. You already are, but
Thank you.
I think when we look back 10 years from this day, the things that you're going to accomplish in this world is going to be massive. And I really honestly am so blessed and grateful to be maybe a teeny part of this journey, or at least exposing the journey that you're on. And I get to be a little part of it, meaning, I know you now. I mean, it's kind of like how, you look at Jesse and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to Jesse. That's what it's like talking to you. And I just want you to know, without you realizing it, you're one of those giants in my life too, because someone so young who can have that discipline in such a way, and not only that, the way you're so willing to give back, it really is inspiring to me. I hope you know that.
Wow, that really means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So if people want to reach out to you, Addy, and they want to get to know you better, they want to follow you, they want to know more about American Ninja Warrior, they want to know more about what you're going to be doing in the future, what's the best way for them to reach out and to get to know you better?
So I'm most active right now on Instagram and YouTube. So my Instagram is addyherman.116. And then my YouTube channel, which I recently started, so still getting that going, but it's
Yeah.
Addy Herman, all one word, all lowercase. So, and
Yeah.
I'd love for you guys to follow along with the journey.
Yeah. And I would suggest anyone who's looking into, understanding discipline better, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to become the American Ninja Warrior, but whatever you might be, it could be school, it could be a different sport, it could be academics, it could be whatever. Reach out to Addy and ask her for some advice. I'm sure she would, reach back out to you.
100%.
Great advice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
definitely reach out. I'd love to help.
Yeah. Well, so one last thing, and this is kind of a tough question sometimes. What do you love most about yourself?
That's such a good question. I'd say now what I love most about myself is my ability to persist through failure, because it was something for so long that held me back in so many ways. And so that is something I am proud of myself for
Yeah.
kind of learning that. And I'm not perfect with it still. Like, I still mess up. I still let failure get the best of me sometimes, but just making that mindset shift probably.
Wow. Love it. Beautifully said. Well, Addy, I can't thank you enough for spending some time with me today. I know you're really busy, and congratulations, 2024
Thank
Women's American Ninja Warrior Champion. How does that
you
sound?
so much. Sounds crazy still. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing, truly amazing. But you know what? You earned it because of the hard work you put in. And
Thank
I love
you.
that you put your faith in God, and whether you would have won or lost, you would have given glory there as well. I respect people who are not afraid to talk about their faith. And so thank you for sharing that with us as well.
Of course,
Shout
yeah.
out to your family, to your coaches, to, everyone at NBC who also supports you as well. Shout out to them as well. They're a great organization. And again, I'm just honored to be here with you today. And thanks for taking some time.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on this, and I'm honored to get to talk to you as well. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, there you go, folks. Addy Herman, please reach out to her. I'll put her links in the show notes. You'll be able to click right to it. She's a champ in every sense of the word, in every area of her life. She gives us hope that we can do and accomplish anything. And if you are struggling, her advice, persistence over perfection. What a beautiful motto to live by. So thank you for sharing that. Love you guys. Again, thanks to my sponsors. Thank you for believing me. It means the world to me. I love you. And until next time, everyone, take care.